And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. It is show number 2 of the day. We're kind of doing this Texas two-step thing. We're kind of fitting them in over the summer and getting a doubleheader, sometimes a triple header. But nothing is as good as those immaculate innings yesterday from Luis Garcia and Phil Maton of the Houston Astros. 9 pitches, 9 strikes, 3 strikeouts in an inning. Nick, that was a pretty good feat right there with those guys doing that too. So first time in the history books that's ever been done. I guess we could do that today and make it a clean sweep if we got to here. The Immaculate Show here is the Backstage Pass presented by Bangtail Whiskey and our good friends over at MitchMacs.com and Hank Jr. Productions. We're live at the SportsGuysPodcast.com, live on there, and, of course, on the Backstage Pass YouTube channel. Good to have Nick Canizales back in the fold here. I know, brother, you've been busy, and I tell you what, so is our guest today. He always stays busy, man, and like I said, he's got that good feel sound when it comes to a little bit of that Chris Stapleton kind of feel to it too, and I just love his music when it comes to that, plus a little bit of Bob Seger if you're going to mix some stuff in there. Jay Edwards joins us here on the Backstage Pass. Jay, how's it going, man?
I heard you breaking up a little bit, Brandon, but I heard you say Stapleton and Bob Seger, so.
I like that. You got a little bit of that going on. I was just saying at the top of the show, how's everything going from the road?
Man, listen, it's hot. Can you see me sweating? It had been burning up for 2 weeks, and we played in Pennsylvania last weekend, and I was like, I'm about to die. We are just soaking wet. It's hot.
It is here. Summer's here.
Yep. It sure is, no doubt. Hey, I got to ask you about that. Talk about the shows, first of all, because just it's good to have them back in the fold. You mentioned Pennsylvania. Now you guys are Kerrville, Texas, coming up here, Corpus Christi, and just talk to everybody now that I guess they're tuning in, watching our stream here, a little bit about the shows and just how exciting it is to be back on stage and where you guys are going to be.
Yeah, man, we're so excited about being on the road and getting these little honky tonks and hootenannies and getting out there where the people are. We're in Kerrville, Texas right now, heading over to the Hunt store in Hunt, Texas tonight for a great show. Those people are awesome, great food and just a great time. There's so much history in this area. Tomorrow is in the Corpus Christi area at Rialto Theater in Aransas Pass. And that's going to be a great show. Then Saturday in Bastrop, Texas, not Bastrop, Louisiana, but Bastrop, Texas. We'll be with Bo Bice and Austin Gillum and Winter Dawn. And that's going to be cool. I can't wait to play with Bo and hang out with my buddy Austin. We're going to just kick and stomp.
That's going to be awesome there. Hey, look, the crazy thing is June is almost ending. We're halfway done with the month. What has the last 6 months been for you? And, and what have you been doing? And just kind of take us back over the last half year here, what you've been doing and what you want to accomplish over the next 6 months.
Well, I just wanted to get bigger, and we want to really get that schedule down where it's like, hey, all right, we know we're going to be, and we might throw a gig or two in there, might stop in and see some people. But, man, it just the last 6 months has been right up to the last minute. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, you're in these 6 places. Like, oh, okay, finally. Well, let's get on the phone and start telling people. We've been ripping and running. I thought we'd have a new record out by February this year. It didn't happen. We're still working on it, but we got some new people that are coming in and messing with us and doing some things. We're just going, just blowing and going. Let's see, Missouri, Chicago, Illinois, back into Tennessee for the next month, and it's all over the place. It's still wide open and just all over the place. Hope to finish some recording and just get this thing blowing it up and get out there where the people are.
Well, y'all kind of blew it up, Jay. What I loved about it was the album Cold, and we had you on. I remember the first year we started this podcast with 2019. Cold did a great job for you guys and opened up a lot of doors. And, of course, you'd had some music before then, but, I mean, that was kind of the album for me that directed my attention toward you as a great singer-songwriter. And I think that the album kind of set the tone with the song I Ain't Broken, and then, of course, A Long Way From Lonely Tonight. Tell me about Cold and how much fun it was to get those 11 songs out to fans and just kind of breaking this one down. It really kind of set the tone for your camp and you as an artist, too.
Yeah. Man, I think Cold was probably one of the best things to come out of Nashville in 10, 15 years. It's not that cookie cutter, new country type thing. It's just really solid. The people I had playing, the studio musicians were amazing. They had played with some of the old cats and really just brought that feeling back to us. And then we hit the COVID in 2020. I did the Average Guy album, but just here recently, we got with some guys, some radio promoter people, and they were like, "Man, you just didn't have enough, time to put into that record, the cold record." So Tuesday of this week, 2 days ago, we just re-released Your Heart of Stone off the cold record to country radio. And now we got totally people behind it. They're pushing it and going with it. I love it. I think it's a great record. It's just an amazing piece of work. I'm not just talking about my songwriter or singing. I just think that the guys that put the stuff together and helped me with it were phenomenal and awesome. So we're going to take a little time and go back and do some more stuff off of that. Yeah.
I was going to ask you, so when you're making that record and, the blood, sweat, and tears that come along with it and the many hours and days and months you make that, and to see it all come to fruition there, what is that like when everything is done and finished, it's out, and then you're excited to go share it with the world?
Yeah, I'm still just like a little kid, man. When I get that first copy in of a hard CD disc, yeah, I mean, I'm taking pictures of it and put it on Instagram. Look, my CD came in. I love that. We never really played the singles game, so I wasn't out there saying, "Hey, listen to my new single." And so therefore I wasn't sitting around waiting on it to show up on the radio either. But we still get super excited about when we hear that. I think the really cool thing is when we're going out to play shows, you walk into a totally new place and somebody walks up and says, "Dude, I just heard that song from that record, and you got to play that tonight, man. I want to tell you." And it's amazing. It's just super amazing.
No, it is, man. Like I said, that's what I love about the music is that people that tune in get a little bit of that Seeger Stapleton kind of feel, as I said at the top of the show. And I think a lot of fans have voiced that opinion or that combination, Jay, a little bit, because I get the feeling in the music. And to me, I mean, two of the greatest singers of all time right there in Stapleton and what he's done over the past year in country music and throughout his entire career, just taking home all these great awards from CMAs to ACMs to Grammys to things like that. And Bob Seger, I mean, there's nothing left to be said about that. One of the greatest of all time there. What does it feel like for you to draw those type of comparisons, even though you want to also be your own individual artist, being Jay Edwards?
I still love it. I mean, the fact that I'm doing my original music and people are saying, "Hey, that sounds like Bob Seger," or "That reminds me of Chris Stapleton," or something. It's just a double whammy. I mean, I love it, and I love what he's done. I love what he's still doing. I love Bob Seger. Travis Tritt, anybody that falls in those veins, and it's just glad that somebody'd say, "Hey, you remind me of that old dude right there." At least it wasn't, "Hey, you remind me of Tiny Tim," or something of that nature. So it's an honor. It really is an honor.
That is true, though. It could always be worse. Hey, listen, when you broke into the business a long time ago, what was one piece of advice that kind of stuck with you throughout your career?
That's going to take some thinking. I don't think people gave me much advice.
Yeah.
The only advice I ever got in Nashville was don't put your picture on your albums. You're not going to sell pictures. That was even before I had the beard and everything. It was like, "Don't put your picture on there. Your ugly mug ain't going to sell no albums." And I said, "They're not looking at my face. They're trying to listen to what I got to say." I don't know. There were some that said, "Just be yourself, do your thing, and it's going to come." And I'm doing what I want to do. I wish I was on a bigger scale, but I am successful in what I'm doing. I do find a little comfort and a pride in the fact that I am the only guy down in Nashville, Tennessee, for the last 7 years doing all original music on Broadway and 2nd Avenue. Had the only all original show in the Music City that ought to have tons of original shows. But Broadway and 2nd Avenue, I'm the only guy doing it down there for 7 years. So I think it, I can't remember anybody actually setting me down and saying, hey, just be yourself and do your thing. Don't try to be anybody else. But I know it was there. And I would say that's, that's just the best that anybody could have ever said is just be yourself. On the other hand, usually there's two kinds of people that say, just write for yourself, just be yourself and don't be commercial. There's two kinds of people, those that have already made it and those that never will. So, but it is still good advice.
Oh, it is too. Like I said, it's great music out there too. So if you guys hadn't checked out the albums Cold or Average Guy, we're going to dive into a few songs off those albums too, off of Cold and Average Guy, get some of the backstories of those. One of my favorite things is to always dive into music, and you guys know I love where lyrics come from and ideas and things like that, and how something's born from nothing. And like Nick said, it goes through the process, and the first copy you get in your hand, as Jay said, it's kind of like, there it is. It's a newborn baby. It becomes your own child. It's your music. You own it, and that's the best part of it right there too. Well, Jay, you got that guitar. I'll tell you what, time for me to be quiet and get off this screen and people tuning in to hear you sing and hear me kind of shut up. So I'll do that.
Well, you mentioned it, Average Guy. I'll do that one for you, man. I'm gonna wake you with coffee in the morning, pull the covers off your head, leave the shower running for you, and help you make the bed. I'm gonna make you biscuits and gravy. Let me hang up your robe, lay your head on my shoulder and a kiss before I go. There are things I can't promise, and I apologize, but that's the bittersweet compromise of loving an average guy. Ain't no millionaire running everywhere to take you there on some fancy ride. Ain't no shades of gray getaway on an airplane just trying to blow your mind. I'm the kind of man that'll take your hand and hold you for the rest of your life. I'm just a plain old take you home to every loving average guy. I'm gonna get right back before you miss me. Throw a blanket on the floor. Pour the wine before you empty it. Here, let me close this door. I'll give you butterflies and silly love songs. Every bit of my time. I'll give you all of me, anything, everything. Money came by. Ain't no millionaire running everywhere to take you there on some fancy ride. Ain't no shades of gray getaway on an airplane just trying to blow your mind. But I'm the kind of man that'll take your head and hold you for the rest of your life. I'm just a plain old take you home for every loving average guy. Baby, I'm just a plain old take you home for every loving average guy.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back to the show again. It's Brandon, it's Nick, and of course our guest this afternoon as we lock it in here in the evening hours. Can't believe tomorrow's Friday. We're already halfway through this month. It is crazy. Jay Edwards joining us here on the Backstage Pass, of course, again, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com and presented by our good friends over at Bangtail Whiskey, MitchMacs.com, and Hank Jr. Productions. Check out the sponsors out there. We appreciate the work they do for us. And, of course, live on the Backstage Pass YouTube channel. And, of course, if you go to Jay Edwards' page, guess what? You can find us there, too, pretty much on Facebook. And check him out at jayedwardsmusic.net. That was Average Guy we heard before we went to break there. And I think it's, again, the title track really set the tone for that one. Hey, going back to that album, too, one of the ones that I thought were really stood out to me, Jay. Let's break down Duck Blind a little bit because I thought it was just a great song you guys put together and a one-of-a-kind song for an album that really – it's just a good old down-to-earth country song.
You broke.
Oh, you probably can hear me there. Now I was going to go back to Average Guy when you sang that one and it being the title of the album. Talk about Duck Blind for me a little bit, Jay. The Duck Blind just being a good old country song.
I'm sorry, you broke up on me a little bit.
Break up one more time. Now I was saying that going back to the Average Guy album, the song Duck Blind is just a great country song on a great album, and you performed the title track for us there before we went to break, and I was talking about Duck Blind being just a good old country song off a great album, and you guys picked a great song. Break down the Duck Blind song for me and kind of where it came from.
Man, Duck Blind was just, I don't know, crazy idea that I just about hunting and fishing and then it kind of, okay, I'll be honest with you, it was about taking a girlfriend hunting and fishing and just to get her out there in the deer stand, or in a boat here, baby. And I don't know, it just, man, that was the thing. Come sit in my duck blind. It just had all the appeal to it, didn't it? What woman wouldn't want some old man turn around the hay?
Hey, that is true. That is very true. Hey, Jay, I read where.
So, yeah, I just kind of.
Having a little technical difficulties.
My connection.
You're good. You're out there. Hey, I know Kerrville, Texas. You lose a signal pretty fast.
Yeah, I'm having a little.
Can you still hear us, Jay?
So, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay.
What was your question?
I read where you wrote your first song at 9 years old. So you knew at a young age this was something that you wanted to do. Music was always kind of a passion for you.
Yeah, it was a passion, but it was also the job. When we grew up in the church and having to play whatever instruments were needed that night, and so my mom taught me piano, and my dad taught me how to play an old flat top guitar. So it was just things. I mean, I remember my dad writing a song, and I don't know that he ever finished anything in particular. A funny story was he used to sing this little chorus, and then years later, my sister came along and took that chorus, turned it into a full song, and it was a Christian song, and got a couple of cuts off of it, and they just revived it and brought it back. So that was always just a part of the family and what we did. So we all of us played instruments, played music, all of us performed. And you didn't say, I don't want to go to church, or I don't want to sing tonight. It was, you sang. You just got up there and sang and performed and worshiped the Lord or whatever. And I used to ask Daddy, I said, do we have to go to church again tonight? And he said, oh, no, you get to go to church again tonight. So that's what we did.
You don't have to, you get to. I love that. I hear you phrase that on you guys and pin that to you. That's pretty amazing. Hey, there was another one, Jay, off that the album, Average Guy, back to it, that I thought was very interesting and had a real good feel to it for me. Ramblin' Fever. Let's break down that one.
Well, I like the Merle Haggard song "Ramblin' Fever," and I was not in any, had no intention of redoing it. Maybe like Stapleton did. That was not my intention. I just had the idea and the thought is like, man, I still want to present that same thought. I got Ramblin' Fever, but in a little bit different way, and you can't copyright a title, so I hope people see that, and I hope nobody is angry at me. I really hope people see that it was an honor and as a tribute to Merle Haggard and those writers that wrote Ramblin' Fever. But I just wrote it in the way that I felt like, that I would present it in the way I saw it. And that's what, so it's a 6/8 time as compared to the original, 4 on the floor, get up and get with it, Ramblin' Fever country time. But it's a 6/8 country time. So, yeah, man, it's just one of those heartfelt things that, you feel it and
yeah,
somebody's already written a song like that, but let me just give you my version of the same idea.
Yeah. You have written so many songs throughout your career. Is there one or two favorite ones that you have? And if so, what makes it so enjoyable to listen to your favorite songs there that you've written?
Used to be, there was a couple of them that, a long time back that people used to come to me and say, man, you don't know how much that song meant to me. And like 2005 and 6, people walking up and saying, man, that song, One Last Place to Stop Before I Get Home. That's the song that I listened to that for 2 hours the other day coming back from Charleston. And it just meant so much. And I cried, talking about big, strong men crying. And so it used to be that. I think now with the songwriting and stuff, a lot of it's, favorite lines is like, man, I got a line in a song now that we don't do a lot, but it says, baby, it's got me remembering things we didn't even do. And that's, man, people don't get that, I guess sometimes, but I about fall off stool every time I sing it. I think it's funny. So there's some cool ones that I like because of the things they say, and and it was like, man, that's genius. If nobody else recognizes it, it's still genius. We got a song, "Have You Lost Your Ever Loving Mind?" More the Delbert McClinton type. And I get tickled because it's got fun stuff in it. But
that's the way a lot of your songs have a lot of fun stuff in it. I want to talk about another one here that's called "Another Cold Shoulder." I want to talk about that one off the Cold album too as well. We'll talk about that. But hey, I'm gonna turn it over to you again. Again, it's Jay Edwards, jayedwardsmusic.net, and of course, check it out for the tour schedule. Busy tonight, Kerrville, and of course over the weekend, Corpus Christi, and just everywhere right now, as you talked about at the top of the show. So, Jay, it's all yours, my friend. What are we going to hear?
Okay, this is that song off the Cold record that we just released 2 days ago.
All right,
and it's one of them get with it and get up and get with it songs. Well, I work an 8-day week, trying to make a little money to buy you a diamond ring. I'm working my life away, swinging 10-pound sleds for more than 10 hours a day. Get on my feet when I get home. I can't go back to chipping away at your heart of stone. Well, I ain't no Romeo. one more little breakdown. You keep telling me no. You don't want me to hold you, but you don't want me to leave you alone. And you hide your love on the shelf. If you don't let me break through, then soon you're gonna be by yourself. Hammering away, I must be doing it wrong. I got a hammer and chisel trying to wrestle your heart of stone. I sure did. Well, you keep me holding on. Got me hammered away, trying to break into your heart of stone. You got me hammered away, trying to break into your heart of stone. You keep me hammered away, trying to break into your heart of stone. Thank you, boys.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And, of course, back here with Jay Edwards on the Backstage Pass. He's right. That's a Get Up and Go song. It's got a lot of grit into it and just hammering and chiseling away at that Heart of Stone. Your Heart of Stone out there. It released as a single off that Cold album. It was back in 2018. It's Brandon. It's Nick. It is the Backstage Pass, again, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com and, of course, live on the YouTube channel. Nick, I'm counting down the days till football now. I cannot wait to see my Cardinals play coming up this year. Yeah. We're going to be doing some ranting and raving. There's some cool things coming up here on the show we can't talk about just yet, but Nick and I are planning on a pretty cool fall. Bobby Belt, NFL Network, coming back with us very soon. Training camp's open and a whole lot more, man. So just keep it right here. We'll be ranting and raving on the Facebook pages and socials and things like that. As Jay plays music, we'll just rant on sports. We don't do music as far as playing and singing, but we can rant on sports and host a podcast here on the show. But I tell you, you're right about that song when it comes down to it, and you do what you do best. Your Heart of Stone, which is from the Cold album, and you guys re-released it too, man. A lot of grit, a lot of grind into it, and a lot. It's kind of like blue collar kind of song. You just keep chiseling away, and pounding at it, and that's such a great song, Jay. I love that one from the Cold album. So I'm glad you guys re-released the particular tune out there. All right, so we gotta do a little thing called Rapid Fire, Jay. This is always a fun time for us. We get to know you more on a personal basis, and I'm gonna start right there. I was kind of talking about sports and college or pro teams. For you, I know you make most of the days in Nashville, living up there too a little bit. Titans, Predators. Is there a team or teams you follow out there, Jay?
I find myself going back to the Razorbacks because I'm from Arkansas a little bit, but just not enough to keep me interested or distract me. How about that?
Hey, they're in the College World Series now, so they're playing in Omaha. So there you go.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
Jay, how about a dream destination as far as vacation? Where would that be?
Good Lord, man. I tell you what, if we could go back to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, down there at the Hard Rock Cafe. We were there in 2019 with Kid Rock's birthday bash. That's a wild place right there.
I can only imagine.
I love that. Hey, when you're on the road, Jay, like you are now playing the shows, is there a favorite place to stop, a cafe or something you're like, I've traveled to these places. What kind of food do you get into?
Hey, this band, This band survives off of Chinese buffet and Mexican restaurants. And it's probably 3 a day. So it's like you can have probably one or the other is lunch and dinner, one or the other. So yeah. We're going to find us a Chinese buffet somewhere, and we're going to find us some Mexican restaurant. And yeah.
All right, Jay. Hey,
That's
okay.
an easy question.
Yeah.
When you go to that Mexican restaurant, what are you ordering?
Carnitas.
Easy.
Yeah, man.
Easy to put there. Now, I got to ask you about this because I love this when we come time to time. If you guys are having pizza at all or just a J. Edwards pizza, what toppings go on it for you?
Yeah, kitchen sink.
Okay.
It's everything. I mean, there's nothing you can put on. Well, I don't like the pineapple on my pizza,
No.
but yeah, there ain't much you can't put on a pizza. I'd tear up anchovies, and I don't even, I wouldn't ask for them, but if they were on it, it probably is going. I'm gonna eat it.
It's going to disappear.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you weren't in music, if you had to do another occupation, what would that be?
Come back at me, Nick. One more time. Tell me that again.
If you weren't a musician, if you could do another occupation, what would that be?
Yeah, I can guarantee you it wouldn't be going back to roofing houses, but
Especially
I wanted to be a tree surgeon my whole life. I always wanted to be a tree surgeon, and now we got the bass player in the band that's actually what he does, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's really what I thought it was all about. So I don't know. He'd be worth a lot of money for doing a little bit of stuff.
yeah. Hey,
That's good stuff right there. Well, I tell you, man, always great to catch up with you. Hey, be safe travels out there on the road, and definitely one of our favorites here, written with a lot of the big time songwriters out there, and of course the hit makers. Open a lot of great shows and still playing out there with Bo Bice and of course John Schneider and Torin. Jay, we appreciate all the time as always you give us to the show here, the love you show us, and definitely looking forward to getting you back on as soon as the new record comes out, my friend. Thanks to Barry and everybody that put everything together. Couldn't do it without our great publicists out there. We appreciate the time. Again, everybody check out jedwardsmusic.net. And Jay, we always appreciate you, brother. Come back anytime.
Man, don't stay away too long. Come on, holler back at me.
I got you let 2 years go by since we talked about that cold album. We got to catch up more frequently. We're going to do that too here on the Backstage Pass tomorrow. Triple header of shows beginning at 1:30, 2:30, and 3:30. We lined them up just like the Astros did in the immaculate innings as of yesterday when they took 2 out of 3 versus the Texas Rangers. College World Series gets started tomorrow in Omaha, Texas, Texas A&M, Arkansas. Jay will be watching. You tune in to that Razorbacks College World Series coming up this weekend. The baseball College World Series up to the national championship, which is the best 2 out of 3. Nick, I don't know. A&M can make a good run. We'll see.
They can. So it's up for grabs, man. Anything can happen in baseball.
Right.
It can happen.
Jay, if the Razorbacks win, you got to come back on here and talk about it, right?
I guess. I mean, I started to say talk about anything. I'll give you my opinion. I won't know nothing, but yeah.
Hey,
If he just came back, Nick, if he just did that, he'd be fine too, right there with Razorbacks. Hey, they did take out one of the top seeds in North Carolina in the Super Regional, so definitely this could be anybody's game. There's no clear-cut national champion, but I'll be watching along with Nick from Omaha, watching the College World Series on ESPN coming up tomorrow through next week. So best of luck to the 8 teams that are in that. Of course, football talk over the next few weeks. We'll come back with that at you. I know Bobby Belt, NFL Network, and a whole lot more. Thanks to our sponsors. You guys check out Jay Edwards on social media if you haven't done it already. And we'll see you guys inside the Backstage Pass triple header tomorrow. 3 shows, 1:30, 2:30, and 3:30. Maggie Baugh is going to come by and talk to us here on the program. Looking forward to that and a whole lot more. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, have a great night. And go listen to some of Jay Edwards' music right now here from the Backstage Pass. We'll see you soon.